Here's some hot topics and okay, so we had a guest co-host on the podcast today, and just a guest in general. I love him so much. His name's Fry Bennett. He's here on TikTok. Love him so much, and he's just fun. And we had a key today. It was great. But we really didn't get into like hot topics too much. You know, we kind of were just like giggling, laughing because like we hadn't seen each other in like a while, and I'm just like a fan, and we just had a good time. And we talked about hot topics here and there, but it was more about just like life in general, and it was fun. And I can't wait for you guys to see the episode tomorrow. It was so good. And then, I took my wig off, took my makeup off. I'm like, I'm just gonna like rest a little. It's so hot here. I really feel like I have like a heat headache. So maybe I shouldn't even be making this TikTok. But anyways, okay. Me just being like, I should make this TikTok, but Okay, so my girl Tana, she stays relevant, right? She's for better or for worse. I know she's in her piece era. She's like, I don't want this drama, I don't need this all the time. So, but I always have to chime in when it comes to Tana because Tana's my girl. And obviously, I saw Tana and Trevi. They're like, when you sit down to talk about the Netflix documentary trend thing, Friday, and I did one of those trends today. Like, it's just a trend, whatever. But about being like the Shane Dawson videos, and then that's fine, whatever. But then the Morgan Adams clapback was so interesting to me. Of course, I'm in that conversation as well because it's like, but Tana collabs with Trisha, and Trisha's problematic because she's done awful things. And well, yes, I think there is a big difference between me and Shane. I'm just gonna say that. Okay, I think there's a pretty big difference, but I digress. I think we also like consider age into all of it, right? Like how old they were, the age gap, all that stuff like that. Like Tana being 18, she's allowed to feel some type of way now at 28. Like she's allowed that. What was like kind of obnoxious to me is when Morgan's like, Tana, love your growth, but you should allow Shane to also have growth. And no one's not allowing Shane to change and grow. He still has a fan base. I'm sure he has changed and grown. I hope he's changed and grown. We're almost 40. We have kids. Just because you've changed and grown, I've changed and grown, people have changed and grown, doesn't mean you can just like negate the past of people's past experiences with you. Again, speaking from someone who has a lot of people on the internet that don't like me either. If there is people that I've offended, which I know there is, and they want to stay offended, even though I'm trying to be a better person every day, and a lot of people see that as well, and I'm proud of the growth, doesn't mean those people have to stop feeling that way. I never see a TikTok where someone is still upset with me for something that happened 10, 15 years ago and like, well, I've changed. You need to just get over that. You can't just tell people to get over things. I just thought those 2 points of like, well, Tana, you said he was your idol. He said he was your dad when it's convenient for you. Yeah, she was 18. She was a child. Like she was not a child, but she was like literal teenager, which to me is a child. How I was treated at 18, I feel some type of way about now, but at the time, I didn't feel that way because why you change, you evolve. You're like, oh, that was kind of weird. That was kind of weird. And she's allowed to feel that way. And I'm saying this from someone who also has had a problematic past. Like people are allowed to still be upset with me. People are allowed to not like me. Yes, I've changed and grown, but people are allowed to be upset by past actions. I tell anyone, my sister, my mom, my husband, I'm like, you don't need to defend me, my fans. I'm like, you don't need to defend me, because it just starts the discussion. And at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I've messed up. I've messed up in the past. And I'm like, I deeply regret so many of the things I put out on the internet. I'm deeply ashamed and it's embarrassing. And I feel bad for my kids one day having to see all that, but the internet is forever. And I have to just suck it up. I just have to suck it up. That's just it. People are allowed to change feelings about a person. People are allowed to change feelings about how they experienced a certain part of their life. It's okay that they feel that type of way. And in my opinion, people don't ever have to stop talking about something that hurt them or upset them or traumatized them. I'm not saying that's what they were saying. It could have been just like joking lighthearted. Obviously, I've had deep discussions with Tana about the way she was treated in other situations. When I first met Tana, she was 19 and the friend group I was in was making deeply inappropriate jokes, but like weren't jokes. And that's the whole reason I left that friend group, because I was like, this is actually so gross. And at the time I was 29 and she was 19. I was like, this is weird. And I was deeply uncomfortable as a result of that. And just, we know how that happened. On a completely different note, but Tana related, we do hot topics, and I did one with my sister last week, and hot topics were slow. So I was just talking about the Tana Shoegate with Louis Castro. I just saw some comments on my last hot topics, and it was just a few comments, but enough because I love Louis Castro and his sister. I love their podcast. So I think people were like too harsh on Louis. And if that came off that way, like I didn't feel that, but if it came off that way, like I sincerely apologize, because Louis and Yahtzee are like truly like, I want to be on their podcast. Like, their podcast, their set, everything about them is so iconic. I love all of Louis' cosplays. We have a lot of mutuals. My hairstylist Tony and my friend Tony, like, they know each other. Like, we have lots of mutuals. Like, I love Louis. And then I just became familiar with his sister through the podcast, the Pretty Not Smart podcast, and her little family. And I just think it's so great. She has like Moms with a Baddie, or mom baddies. I don't know. There's like a little mom group she has on Instagram that I'm like, I wish you would throw more events. I would come to it. Like, I love them. So when I saw them collab, I was like, this is great. To me, it was like kind of unserious drama. And I guess maybe we just covered it like more seriously. But like, obviously, like, it was already past the point where they went shoe shopping together. I thought it was like a cute little thing. And it was just like a discussion. It was also Hot Topics that Oscar wasn't there. And sometimes when Oscar's not there, you just know he really directs me on the right path. You know what I mean? So if like, I don't know, if anything came across other than like, I love Louis too, like, I sincerely apologize. Like, I love their podcast, and like, my goal is to be a guest, and I want them to be a guest on our podcast. Like, I would do a podcast swap any day. Like, love them down. So I, like, as soon as I saw those comments, I was like, that was not it at all. Like, I love Tana down for sure. And that was just like so not it. And I did Reality House. Fun fact, if you remember, Kian and JC, I was on season 1 of Reality House. Mess, but also the show a little bit of a mess. Like, it was mess. Me and Jake Weber actually were on it. Actually, me and Jake Weber were like arch nemesis on that show. We have a little lore. Like, I was just so anti-Jake and he was so anti-me, and we were like voting each other out, and we actually went head to head at the very end. Like, small world, but now me and Jake are just and we love full circle moments. I love everything's worked out. I want everyone to have peace. I want everything to be worked out. But that only happens is, 1, if you take accountability, 2, if you apologize, and 3, if you let people, you know, accept that apology or not accept the apology. Like, it's not up to me or anything like that, you know? I think you can only have an full circle moment when you're like, you can own up to something. Yeah, that was some messed up stuff. I'm sorry. I don't know if those apologies ever happen. But ultimately, too, you can accept apology and you can like forgive and not forget. And that's okay. That's okay. And I say the same thing back to me. I know that sounds crazy to say, but when I see people who have like valid like think pieces of like, I don't know why everyone likes Trisha now, like she did this and this, it's valid to not like me for the shitty person and the shitty views I put out on the internet. Like, there's levels for sure. Like, I definitely was like trolling and all this like that, but there's obviously levels. Things change, decorum changes, what's considered jokes and stuff. Like, everything changes. So it's okay to own up to something and be like, yeah, that wasn't right. I don't know. I saw someone be like, yeah, Morgan ate with that and stuff like that. And I actually like Morgan Adams. I think she's like super sweet. I no beef there, but I just thought that was kind of interesting because I'm like, well, Tana was 18 and she's 28 now, and she's sober and she's done healing, and she's kind of like, And again, the whole thing was the Netflix documentary thing. It could have been just joke, satire, like not even that serious. Okay, finally, can I switch like topics again? This is such a niche hot topic, and like I would never even bring this up on like regular hot topics, but not even the Patreon. Moses and I did the Patreon by ourselves today. I put Patreon bonus. This is so niche, and this is so embarrassing, and I think this is the heat getting to my head. I think this is the heat that's like, Trisha, you don't need to talk about this, but yes, I need to talk about this. I had commented back in 2020, like May of 2020, a comment on a TikToker who is now going viral for being cringy. So why am I even talking about this? Me just taking accountability and owning up to it and apologizing and being like, you don't have to forgive me or forget me for this. The comment was just like, me, your future girlfriend is me. And obviously this is when I had met Moses, but we weren't dating. Whatever. I don't know why I'm like acting like I'm under cancellation for this, but his name's like the real Raul Raya, I think his name is. He does like skits. He's like millennial, and he does like cringy skits of like him and Future Bay. His crime is being cringy, and the TikTok, oh my God, I'm so old. TikTok is like literally trying to cancel him, and the comments are crazy. Like, he had to like disable his comments, and it's just like, I feel harassed. How do I report this? And then someone might comment from like 6 years ago, and I keep getting spammed with that, and I'm like, you guys, I don't know. He makes the content for cringe millennial middle-aged women, and that's me. I'm cringe middle-aged millennial women, okay? I don't know. Are these kind of TikToks ever helping anything? No. I say it all the time on the podcast. It's better just to like not say anything at all. But here I am, just I felt I needed to say this. And I feel like we touched on it a tiny bit on the podcast today, but like not really. And do I need to be commenting on it? No. Tana's probably like, stop. Oh, what happened? What's happening? Why is everyone running? Oh. I'm here. What's happening? Okay. All right. Oh,